The love story of a lonely astronomer and a time traveler lost in the Virginia mountains. Title: The Echo of Shooting Stars. Main characters: Anya, a young astronomer, 28 years old, passionate about the cosmos and somewhat solitary. She works at a remote observatory in the mountains of Virginia, where she spends most of her nights studying the sky. She carries with her the melancholy of a broken promise from his childhood. Caleb, an enigmatic time traveler from an indeterminate time who unexpectedly appears near Anya's observatory during a NSA meteorite rain. He is lost in time and seeks a way to return home. The night of the unexpected arrival, Anya lived immersed in the silent symphony of the stars. The observatory on the mountaintop, was his sanctuary, a place where the vast universe seemed to whisper secrets to him. That night, the Perseid meteor shower was especially intense, painting the sky with fleeting brushstrokes of light. Anya, with her eye glued to the telescope, recorded each flash, searching for patterns, anomalies, anything that could reveal the mysteries of the cosmos. And suddenly, a light much brighter and more sustained than any meteorite tore across the night sky, descending not far from the observatory. The earth trembled slightly with the impact. The curiosity and anxiety seized Anya, breaking her concentration. Equipped with a flashlight and basic emergency equipment, she ventured into the darkness, following the trail of a faint smoke. He ascended among the trees. What he found left him breathless. An oval metallic structure, partially embedded in the earth, with flashing lights inside. And near the ship, the man lay unconscious. Anya approached cautiously. The man wore strange clothes, of a bright and unknown fabric. His face was beautiful, although marked by exhaustion. She hesitated he stood, but his instinct to help prevailed. He carried him with difficulty to the observatory and laid him on a makeshift cot. When the man finally woke up, his dark eyes opened, on confusion and a slight fear. He didn't speak any language that Anya knew. Communication at first was a labyrinth of gestures and clumsy drawings. Slowly, Anya understood that this man, too, and she called Caleb, he was not of this time. Something, perhaps the intense energy of the meteorite shower, had brought him to her present from a distant era. A timeless romance. As the days turned into weeks, Anya and Caleb developed a rudimentary way of communicating. Anya showed him books, spoke to him slowly, and Caleb, with surprising intelligence, learned. He quickly learned her language. He told her fragmented stories of his time, of a world that Anya could only imagine, full of technological marvels and unknown challenges. The initial fascination gave a step into a profound connection. Anya felt attracted by the melancholy in Caleb's eyes, by his longing to return to a home that she could never know. Caleb, in turn, found comfort, and in the warmth and intelligence of Anya, in her passion for the stars that transcended time. They shared long nights observing the sky, Anya explaining the constellations that were familiar, as for him and those that had changed throughout the centuries. Caleb spoke to him of the stars that no longer existed in his time, of the new ones that had been born. His love for the cosmos became, in a shared language, a bridge between their two realities. An unusual romance blossomed between them, uniting two souls separated by time but connected by a deep affinity. They fell in love, under the starry cloak, in the solitude of the mountain, a love born of curiosity, understanding, and an inexplicable attraction. However, their happiness was fragile, hanging by a thread of the possibility that Caleb would find a way to return to his time. Anya knew that her love had a limit imposed by the laws of the universe, a cosmic expiration date. The search and the child's promise. Caleb spent hours studying the remains of his ship, trying to understand what had brought him to this time and how he could replicate the return trip. Anya helped him in his investigation, using their knowledge of physics and astronomy. Together, they analyzed the strange materials of the ship and the energy patterns that still emanated from it. Meanwhile, Anya shared on Caleb an old faded photograph from his childhood. In it, she appeared next to her best friend, Ethan, under a starry sky during another meteor shower. Ethan had promised her that one day they would travel together to the stars. That promise was broken years later when Ethan died in an accident. Anya had always felt a pang of sadness when remembering that unfulfilled promise. Caleb felt strangely moved by Anya's story and the photograph. He noticed a small object that Anya always wore around her neck, a smooth, shiny stone that Ethan had given her, gelato that night of meteorites. One day, while Caleb examined a fragment of his ship under a rudimentary microscope, Anya noticed a symbol engraved on the surface. It was an intricate pattern of lines and dots that seemed vaguely familiar to him. After searching through his old children's astronomy notebooks, he found a similar drawing, a star pattern that Ethan had invented and that only they both knew. The revelation hit them with the force of lightning. Caleb recognized the pattern. It was a form of stellar navigation used in his time, based on constellations that were no longer visible in Anya's present. And the most surprising thing, Caleb carried a similar object, a small device that contained a three-dimensional representation of that same stellar pattern. The The possibility that Caleb had a connection to Anya's past, perhaps even with Ethan, began to take shape in their minds. The unexpected bond and the painful decision. As they investigated, going deeper, they discovered that the meteor shower under which Caleb had arrived was the same one that Anya and Ethan had witnessed in their childhood. The cosmic energy of that event seemed, I have created a temporal singularity, a brief bridge between two eras. Caleb began to remember fragments of his past that were previously blurry. He remembered an experimental time travel that he smelled terribly bad. He remembered a curious child showing him a strange star pattern. The truth began to emerge slowly. Caleb, in his own past, had known Ethan. The connection. It was an amazing and at the same time painful era. The man Anya had come to love was, in some way, an echo of her past, a reminder of a lost promise. Was their encounter a simple accident? Was there a more complex destiny at play? Caleb finally found a way to stabilize his ship enough to attempt a return trip, taking advantage of the upcoming meteor shower. Those who approached. The decision they faced was heartbreaking. Would Anya let go of the man she loved, knowing that they might never see each other again? Would Caleb give up the possibility of returning to SU home because of the love that he had found in a distant time? The night before Caleb's departure, they embraced under the starry sky, tears mixing with the cold mountain wind. Your love was real, profound, but the laws of time seemed to conspire against it. Promise me you will look at the stars, Anya whispered, her voice choked, and that you will remember that, in some place, in the river of time, someone loved you. And you promise me that you will never forget the echo of the shooting stars, Caleb replied, kissing her forehead, because in them, I will always find you, the echo in the sky. Loila Esperanza Persistente. Caleb's departure was bittersweet. The ship ascended into the night sky during the peak of the meteor shower, leaving a void in Anya's heart. She returned to the observatory, feeling more alone than ever, but also with an unforgettable memory of a love that transcended time. The days turned into months. Anya continued with her work, studying the stars, searching in each meteor shower for a sign, an echo of the man she loved. Caleb's promise resonated in her mind. One night, while observing a newly born star Asida through her telescope, noticed a peculiarity in its light, a subtle pattern that was familiar to her. She enlarged the image and recognized the stellar pattern that Ethan had invented and that Caleb had recognized. It was a signal, a small message across the vast universe and time. A single tear rolled down Anya's cheek. Caleb, somehow, had found a way to send left an echo of his existence, proof that the connection they shared was real and endured through time. Anya never knew if Caleb managed to return to his home or if he found a new way exist in the labyrinth of time. But every night, looking at the stars, he felt her presence, an echo of a love that defied the laws of the universe. And in each shooting star, he glimpsed the promise off to the meeting, somewhere, sometime, where their love could finally blossom without the barriers of time.